follow us at Facebook at Freeform Network, on Twitter at FFR Podcast. Remember to send your questions and suggestions to ffnquestions@gmail.com. That's where we talk to our fans or listeners or people who are trying to be on the show, like those vegans. But again, Freeform Radio, it's me, All Good Andy, and then we have Daniel.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear it. It kind of chopped out for a second. Hey, what's going on, man? Good to be together here. I know Noel's unavailable today, but hey, we're gonna power through this bad boy and get through this interesting article.
Yeah, man, I like Danny's passive aggressive where he tosses the blame back to me for not listening to me.
it chopped out for a second, so I didn't hear the part where it said Daniel until you said it the second time, I presume.
Because I have my new palatial pad. The Wi-Fi in the room I had is out of the Wi-Fi bars, I got 2 out of the 3. So I'm like, that should suffice for this recording. But enough of that. Let's go, Danny. What's going on with you? I see this is an interesting topic you posted here, Walmart plus tipping. I'm assuming somebody at Walmart tried to get you to tip them, or is that some new program that they're starting?
Yeah, football season is right around the corner. I know you're going to have some conversation concerning football, but the Walmart plus tipping actually stems from us signing up to Walmart Plus, the like kind of Amazon Prime equivalent or their version of it, where they offer you like free shipping on packages, and also another benefit that they give you is they give you Paramount Plus for free. So Paramount Plus, for you guys that don't know, gives you CBS Sports football for free. So you can, amongst other things, Paramount and all their Star Trek and a bunch of other stuff. But one of their benefits is CBS Channel 2 here in the Chicagoland area. And you definitely need it for football seasons because just about half the games the Bears play are on CBS. And if you want to watch them and you don't have the NFL package, or you don't want to do some illegal shenanigans here when you live in a mountainous forest area, you got to sign up to some of this, Paramount Plus to get CBS, or Hulu Live to get all the channels, or you just got to get Comcast. But yeah, I've been without cut the cord for a while now, so I've been doing this for like 3 years now, where I sign on to Paramount Plus to get the CBS stuff, and then typically I sign on to Sling to get Channel 32, ABC's, as well as NBC to get all the rest of the games. So yeah, that's usually my little routine to get the football games for the Bears. What about you, Andy? You mentioned your Wi-Fi earlier. Do you have a game plan for how you're going to handle the football season?
Well, that's what I was talking about. I've cut the cord too. Well, I think a majority of Americans have cable. It's just ridiculous. They're struggling. But I was looking at some streaming options, and I'm just like, this is too much for what I'm getting. Like the live TV option, like Hulu, and a lot of people were pushing Hulu and stuff like that. But I'm like, it's too much. And then I missed on a couple deals. I was thinking about getting Peacock. They had a deal a couple months ago where you could get the whole year's worth for $20. But I kind of didn't do that. And then Paramount. Usually Paramount has monthly deals that are not too bad. But yeah, for football season coming up, I did find a local company. I'm thinking about installing like an actual antenna on the roof. Get this professionally installed and set up, because I found a couple things, but what I'm worried about is the grounding, or I get lightning to hit it. So that's why I haven't done it myself. I know a friend of mine kind of mentioned what to do, but I don't know. But I'm going to try to get a quote to see how much to install that. And then I'm going to try to have them with the new house in the living room and then run a cable down into the basement. He said their website says they can use existing um, cables if you have a coaxial cable. They can do something where they can use the existing holes that the cable company made. They have something to figure out where to connect it to or something to use the existing coaxial connection. So I'm thinking about doing that. I actually just got to call them. It's been kind of hectic. Um, and then to get a quote, and then we'll go from there because uh, football season is just around the corner, and I do watch a lot of football, college and professional, NFL, and having an antenna, especially for the local games, is it's important. And then there's other means you can watch it, but sometimes the feed is great and sometimes it's not. But we'll see. We'll go from there. That's what I was telling you about it. Like I'll tell you how much they charge me, and then they do. If the pricing is on point, I mean, I don't doubt the job's not going to be good. It's just that what I'm worried about is the cost. I have a number in my head, so usually double it when I think it is, and that's probably what it's going to be. But we'll go from there,
Right, right. Yeah, I'm really curious to see this guy. When I first moved in here in Lake County, I had a bunch of reception issues. Back when I used to live in Melrose, I used to get Channel 32 Fox affiliate without a problem, and CBS Channel 2, I would get it on occasion. You would have to put the antenna just right, and it would work. So for the most part, I was able to watch the over-the-air um, uh, football games, except for ESPN. And yeah, so it worked out. But now that I live in Lake County, my reception is really bad. There's a lot of trees in this area, and you just don't get a good reception. So I looked into this antenna thing too, but man, I back out. It just seemed a little too iffy. So I'm kind of curious how yours is going to pan out because you got a similar situation now as me. So if yours comes out to be a viable solution, it might be something that I look into as well. Just because these subscriptions, although there's other stuff that you can watch, I just don't get them for football, but football is the majority. Paramount, I watch Star Trek and a few other things, but and then Sling. I really don't watch much of the other stuff. It's got like maybe 20 or 30 channels, Nickelodeon and Sci-Fi Channel and a bunch of other things, but I don't really watch a lot of that stuff. I'll flip every now and then, but it just doesn't really interest me. I go back to like my Netflix or whatever thing that I can just pick what I want to see at the moment and not flip through channels. So, it'd be nice to save instead of spending money on there. Although I just get them for the football season. So right now I don't have Sling. So Sling, I believe it's like $40 a month right now. So I plan to only get it for like the 3 months, 4 months maybe, depending on how long the Bears go in season. But yeah, typically I just grab it for that time and then I jump off and cancel my membership.
Yeah,
But
the company that I found, they specialize in northern Illinois and like southern Wisconsin. That's like their area they focus on. They even state depending on your location, you could probably get channels from where we live in Rockford or even Milwaukee, depending on the positioning of where they put the antenna. And they have something to tell them what's the best position. Because I think I think we talked about it, you have a website that tells you how many miles out you're from the station that's sending the signals. Most of it's in Chicago, and I think from out here, I think it's under like 40 miles or 30 miles or something like that, or 60, like 50 miles at most. So they did have some really good reviews. Like I said, like always, man, it's just I don't really like putting stuff on the roof,
right,
but we'll see how it goes. I see, and then the pricing is important too. But they said if
sure,
you don't want it on roof, they can do that too.
right, like a
They're
tower.
pretty upfront. Like, yeah, we could customize it. It's gonna be more money.
For sure. I when I was contemplating doing it myself. I was on this YouTube channel. I think the guy's called The Antenna Man, and he actually has a web page, like you said, where you put your address, and he tells you which way to direct your antenna so you can get the best signal, depending on what channels you want to get. So yeah, for sure. But all of that is a long way to get back around to my original thing that I wrote in. It's Walmart Plus tipping. So this is the first time I've ever gotten Walmart Plus. Typically, I just sign on to Paramount Plus on its own, but I saw that Walmart Plus offers Paramount Plus as part of their package, and the cost is the same, if not, I think a few bucks cheaper. So I'm like, hey, what the heck, I'll get Walmart Plus, get cheaper gas if you fill up like at a mobile or something. And I'm like, all right, well, we'll give it a shot. Since we've canceled our Amazon Prime, we really don't have anything for free shipping. So we have to get the minimum orders, 30 bucks, 50 bucks, whatever. If you're at Best Buy or Amazon, you have to get these minimum orders to get the free. Well, now we got the Walmart Plus. Alana's been using it for some groceries because they even deliver groceries like cold food, like milk and meat, whatever. It's also for free shipping. But I used it the other day because I forgot what I wanted. Cough drops. I wanted some cough drops, so I put it into the cart, and I'm going to check out, and I just had that, and Alana had some like flower seeds, or I forgot what else she had in the cart. I go to check out, and while I'm checking out, it's my first time using it. Alana's been using it before me. I noticed that there's a tip that's automatically added to my cart, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, a tip? And then I scroll to the section where the tip gets expanded, and it's optional tip, and it just has 10, 15, 20. And now I'm like, man, or other. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, if it's so optional, then how come you put it as default on my order? If it's optional, shouldn't you let me click it, to activate it? So it kind of, pissed me off a little bit. I'm like, this doesn't sound optional because you're basically putting it by default on my cart. So I ended up putting the lowest tip. I think it was like 10%, which ended up being about like $2 or something. And then I asked Alana, I'm like, hey, she had gotten like maybe like 3 orders by this point. I'm like, have you been putting the tip every time we get these orders? Because that adds into the price of this membership. If we got to be tipping these guys every time they deliver, Amazon Prime never asked us to tip anybody. You just get your order and that's it. So I found it kind of a little shady. I'm like, are these guys going to start treating my packages like shit if I put no to the optional tip? Do they see that up front when they get their order? It really like brought a lot of questions in my head that, do I have to be forced to do this so that my packages come somewhat reliable and I don't just get my milk jug just thrown in front of my yard and they're like, hey, go get it.
So is Alana been tipping?
Yeah. Apparently she says she did like me. She went to the 10% because I think the default's 20. Right away they're like, yeah, here's your the American average now, and I usually lowered it down to the lowest.
Is the delivery person like a Walmart person, or they outsource it to like the delivery company like DoorDash, Uber, or something?
Yeah, from what I could tell, they, unless it's something coming out of their store, like we did order a table, a new laundry room table, and that was delivered by like FedEx. But all these little packages and stuff like that, it looks like they outsource them to like a DoorDash or some maybe private firm company that just deliver packages. Because I've noticed Amazon does that on occasion too. And even Best Buy, I think in my Best Buy story, I mentioned to you guys that it just looked like some guy pulling into my driveway. And I'm like, who the hell is this guy? He was just dropping off something I bought during Christmas time. But yeah, it makes me feel bad because I know that a lot of these people do work off of tips. But at the same time, I didn't anticipate this in my calculation of the cost of this package.
Budget.
And so I'm like, this is gonna be great, man. I'm gonna get Paramount Plus and get these free deliveries. But if I'm going to be tipping $2 for every package, it really makes me question what the hell's going on. And like I said, if I start picking zero or no, am I going to start having issues where they say my package is delivered, but I didn't get it? So
It's a big thing now. Like everything is tipping, and like I think we talked about it in previous episodes, and I even saw some like thing on it on CNBC. Like, why is everybody asking for tips? Even when you do pickups, it used to be just like deliveries. Even when you go to, there's a Mexican restaurant we go to that it's like a burrito joint, and
right,
then they have a tip jar when you're walking in and ordering, and then they have, when you do the card, they have like that kiosk where they flip around and they're like, "Do you want to put a tip?" And I'm just like, in the beginning, I was just like nervous, like, "Oh shit," but now I don't give a fuck because I think a lot of people have my mindset like, "What the hell's with all this tipping?" And I think the average consumer is like sick of it. I mean, they'll tip when it's appropriate, like restaurants when you dine in and stuff like that, but yeah, generally, like stuff when you go pick up orders or like those type of deliveries, no. And then on top of it, they hit me with service fees. I was paying a bill yesterday, our water bill, and just to give you an idea, um, they have somebody outside process it. Usually, it's like $1 fee. At my old city, it was like $1.50 or something. These people charge you a percentage. And I'm just like, what the hell? It's like a 3% surcharge. And I'm just like we do the math, like this is a lot of money if your bill's expensive, but it's like another I think it was gonna be like another $2-3. I'm just like, this is ridiculous, man. Like I'm not fucking like fuck that. I'd rather spend the 70 cents for a stamp. It's cheaper, or go drop it off at the city hall or at their payment box now. Because now I gotta drive somewhere because the convenience is like they're charging you for that convenience now, and it's not even like a flat fee; it's a percentage now. I was like super people I know annoyed with that.
no, right, no, you're 100% right, man. I think a lot of people are getting sick of this, but I know it's one of your conversations later on, but in Trump's Republican speech, he did mention tip free, no taxes on tips. So this might become even a bigger thing moving forward if Trump gets his way. Yeah, hopefully everything works out well. I'm gonna try the Paramount thing, get my CBS on, and then I'll have to sign on to Sling in the next couple of weeks because we got a Bears game coming up soon, man.
Yeah,
Um,
the first preseason game I think is next weekend is the time of this recording, and I might probably have to find somewhere to stream it because I think it's gonna be Peacock. It's probably gonna have it, and I was like, man, that's when I wish I would have spent the $20. I would have had to worry, but now I gotta go through some aftermarket stuff. So we'll see how it goes.
yeah, it definitely is an NBC game, and it's
Yeah,
August 1st, the first Hall of Fame game, or I forgot what they're calling it. But
yeah, the
yeah,
Hall of Fame game.
yeah, jumping onto something else really quick. Went to the Wakanda Fest here, as most Americans here for the majority of our listeners. 4th of July weekend just passed, and there was a bunch of festivals, a bunch of towns. Everybody has their own little taste of Chicago kind of thing. And Wakanda had a fest here. Went to go check it out, and the music was really good. Didn't get to try too much of the food. Went there, had just eaten, so was planning to just get like a funnel cake. But before you know it, time ran out, and we left, and I didn't get my funnel cake. But other than that, man, it was a really good time. Uh, Met up with a buddy from high school there, hung out for a minute, chatted, and then just walked around. And the ambiance was really good. Bunch of drunk old white women dancing. So it was a good
Drinking
time, man.
wine, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a
Got
bunch of
plenty.
like not wine, or at least I didn't see too much wine, but I did see a lot of those like wine coolers, like those
Yeah,
White Claws, or what are those? Is that
yeah. The
beer or
White
what
Claws,
is?
the hard seltzers.
Yeah. So they had a bunch of White Claws. You just saw all these women with White Claws, and yeah, man. I had a couple beers myself. actually left with a beer ticket that I didn't realize that was in my pocket, and I'm like, shit, man, am I gonna be able to use this next year? And I saw it. I saw that they stamped 2024, so I think I got a beer
I mean,
ticket
modify it, man. Modify it.
that's gonna be unusable unless I do some shenanigans, like you said, Andy. But yeah, man, Wakanda Fest was pretty good. Did you get a chance to go check out and partake
I
in
mean,
any of
we were
these Fourth
talking
of
about
July
going up
stuff by
there.
your city or anything like that?
Nah, I know we all talked about it, and we were really gonna go, but then they got away from us. We were doing something that afternoon, and it just kept on dragging on, and we couldn't make it. But yeah, no, we had our festival. Usually the 4th of July is when they do it. They have one. I think right now the next town over, or I think it was last week, they had their Rib Fest, and now they're doing. I think they're gonna do one more thing. Our old town, Carpentersville, had they have like a hamburger festival. They have all these hamburger people come in and they make hamburgers on there and get judged. And I think that's it for the year until Labor Day, and then the summer's wrapped up, man.
Yeah, for sure. This year is going by really quick.
Yeah,
Summer has been a few hot days, but nothing crazy, man.
a lot of rain, I think, this year.
Yeah, definitely a lot of rain, a lot more than typical. I've had years where I don't have to cut the grass like for 2 weeks during the summer because we'll have like a mini drought where not a lot of rain comes down and the grass will start getting brownish. So I won't cut it on purpose just to, not kill it any more than I am normally when I cut the grass. But yeah, man, I've had to cut it every week, and the weeks that I don't cut it for whatever reason because it rains, I usually cut it on Wednesdays. That's my garbage day. And if I don't cut it on a Wednesday and I wait 2 weeks, oh man, that second week it's killer, man. That grass is nice and tall, and you almost have to go slow motion with that lawnmower, otherwise it'll choke out and die. But yeah, man, the summer's been really good. Nice weather and all that good stuff here. But Andy, let's jump over to you, man. One of your talking things here you wanted to bring up was the RCN, and that just finished in Milwaukee. Fill us in on some of your thoughts.
Yeah, we were, former President Trump. There was an assassination attempt. What was it, 3 weeks ago now, or 2 weeks ago, from this recording, and we were at a kids' party. Then I see the text from one of our friends. I'm like, "What the hell's going on? Is this true?" And then I saw the news, and that kind of consumed me the rest of the day. But then I was thinking about like how are they going to handle the convention, and like I think they gave Trump maybe like 24 hours, maybe 48, before they started saying it was his fault that he got shot. And then they usually say that the conservative people are the more conspiracy types, and then the people who oppose Trump, a lot of them are coming up with their own conspiracy theories, which are pretty good. But what came out of that, his ear, I don't know if it got disfigured. I don't know. I mean, to this, he's been wearing that bandage when he's made public appearances. So that led up to the RNC. I thought for sure he was going to show his ear or something, but overall, the convention like this year was it's the Trump is the new Kimosabi for the Republican Party. You didn't see like Mitt Romney, Bush. There's a lot of old school prominent Republicans that weren't there. It was all filled, not filled, but like a lot of people were there for Trump. He's a pretty popular guy. And then some of the speakers he had that last day, particularly, I'm talking about the last day, which, you had Billy Graham's son, that pastor, Reverend, at Kid Rock, Hulk Hogan, his son. I think before the day before they had his new VP pick, JD Vance. And then they had some other people. But overall, I know just what I know from Twitter from the previous day. Some people didn't like what was going on. They felt there was like, but it's different. They had some different gusts. They had an Amber Rose, that girl that used to be like a music video saying that she's down with Trump, and they had some like just different people, man, people of color, and I think it freaked out some people, but overall, they're pretty accepting. But the day of his nomination, that's where they posted him as the candidate for the party. I watched that thing from when I got home from work, and it was pretty interesting with Dana White and all that. And uh, to me, it felt kind of like with Hulk Hogan. I mean, Hulk Hogan's like a childhood hero of mine. I watched him forever. It was kind of a spectacle, dude. Like it was like Hogan was doing his whole shtick, right? And then he's like, "My name's this, and I'm this, and I'm tired of this," and then he kind of turned it in there. He brought the house down. Dana White was just like up there yelling. I don't know if you had a chance to see any of that, Dan, or how much you saw of it.
Yeah,
But the pastor was good. Billy Graham's kid was good. And then Kid Rock was just like, eh. But I mean, how much did you see of it?
yeah. As far as other speakers, I didn't really watch much of anything. The only reason I watched Hogan, which I didn't even know he was going to be on there, but one of our buddies texted and said, "Hey, Hogan's on." Um, uh, talking at the RNC. And I'm like, holy smokes. So I went onto YouTube and found the video of it, checked it out. And yeah, I thought Hogan went on a little long myself. I think it was a little much. I get he's doing his own stick. But the part that I did like is that he went off character. So he was just like, yeah, that's my Hogan persona. Now let me talk to you as Terry Bollea. And then he started talking more as a real person. So it was good. It just went on a little long. Like he knows how to make the crowd pop, and so it was just like every 2 or 3 sentences was something to make the crowd pop. And I'm just like, dude, just say your speech. You don't have to keep trying to pop the crowd. Say what you gotta say, and then get out of there. And then even the Trump speech, I didn't watch it live, but I watched the day after on video, and I thought his speech was long as well. For an hour and a half, it needs to be like an awesome speech, and I just thought it was way too much. I think 40 minutes, an hour tops would have been plenty. But yeah, I thought it was a different Trump at start, and I think I even mentioned that to you. But then I watched finally the end of it because I had only got a chance to watch the first half, like 40 minutes, and I'm like, man, I got to take a break. This is too much Trump at one time. And then I watched the second half, and I'm just like, oh. I'm like, Trump is getting back into his antics, and he just started kind of going off the rails a little bit. But yeah, man, I think it went fairly well. So for Republicans at least, the analysis that I saw from some people, third party people, and they were just like, yeah, it was a strong showing. There wasn't much for Trump to do to kind of mess it up, just because of the assassination attempt. I think he was riding on a high, and I think it was like his show to really lose, and he didn't really do anything to lose it.
Yeah, I'm with you in agreement. The Trump speech went on too long. It was just way too fucking long. I couldn't even stay up to watch it. I went to bed, and he had some points in the beginning, and but then yeah, it just like, he kept rambling on, and then like so yeah, the to me the speech was like lackluster, to be honest with you, but it's for I mean, if we look at everything, all the polls and the gambling, that election is for Trump to lose, and on the opposite aisle, opposite side of the aisle, the Democrats are on a free fall. Every day it's something different. He's gonna drop out. He's not. They're gonna do this. Then they're not. Then now yesterday there was news that Hillary might run if she gets nominated. And Biden said yesterday, I think he was saying too, he's like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, these are all false reports. Even though the same people been saying for like since the election that they're gonna push him out. They're gonna push him out, and it seems like the top Democratic Party leaders, that's what they want. There's people reporting Obama doesn't want him to run, and then there was like something towards the end of the week where he agreed to drop out, but he wasn't going to endorse Kamala Harris, and it's all over the place. It's just what happened to the party, the Democratic Party. It's pretty sad, and like Biden is that old guard where I always tell my wife, like, listen to the things that he does, compare it to today's time. It's like antiquated. And now I saw the interview he did with Lester Holt, and I think another person asked him, like, you're going to be a transitional president, you're going to do one term and then hand off to somebody else. He's like, what happened? Well, he goes, I got a lot of work to do. Like, he had like feisty, like, how dare you? He went on this tirade afterwards, but yeah, it's just the Democrats are so worried about what to do. They're so obsessed with beating Trump that they're willing to. I mean, just what you see, they're willing to do just about anything. They're willing to replace the president, which obviously, I mean, I'm not a big fan, but there is something. I think he has some medical issues that they've covered very well, covered up, and because after the first debate, everybody, the mainstream media like CNN, and they were pissed off how he looked and how he sounded and his responses, how lost he looked, and people started attacking the administration, saying how can they're basically, a lot of the reporters that they lied to us. So they were shocked, and just we'll see what happens, man. It's this political season. I used to think it was gonna be like some dead heat tie. Now it looks like it's for Trump to lose, and the Democrats are like just scrambling to see what to do, and I don't know, man. We're gonna see what's gonna happen in November. It's to be honest with you, it's kind of scary because it looks what everybody's seeing like he's gonna win. So I don't know, man. I don't see Trump messing that up. But real final thoughts on the election. Do you think Trump got it, and are they gonna keep Biden, or are they gonna push him out, the Democratic Party?
I think if they keep Biden in there, Trump's got it. If they put Kamala, I think Trump still has it.
But I think Trump has it, yeah.
It'll be a little closer, but I think Trump still got it. If they put a strong Democrat, like the governor of California or something, then I think Trump's got to run. The California governor's guy, he's got a chance to beat Trump, even though he's got all this momentum from the assassination attempt. So I think, I think it's probably Trump. I didn't vote for him last time. I think he's a little arrogant. I do, for the most part, lean more towards Republican views, but I do have a few Democratic pieces in my body that kind of vote on that side. But yeah, I think it's more in the middle. I think a candidate that's more right-leaning, but closer to the middle. I think that's really where my home base is, and that's where I think it should be. But yeah, man. Hey, kind of flipping it to the assassination. We didn't really speak a lot about it, but what do you think, man? What are the chances that Trump moves his head at that very last second and the bullet just nicks his ear and doesn't really like make it more of a headshot, kind of, Kennedy style?
I think he, like he said in his speech, God spared him, man. Like he was looking at that chart, and then that's what saved him. Like,
so the immigrants saved him.
That's what it sounds like. Right?
The attack on America, the invasion.
He was showing how he wanted to point out in his thing it was the lowest ever when he was president that he stopped illegal crossings or something. It's like it was the lowest ever, and then that's what saved them.
Ooh, Andy, that's a great point. So butterfly effect. If there was no issue at the border and there weren't an immigration issue, would Trump still be here?
No,
He wouldn't. He wouldn't have a chart to show us.
exactly.
So is the immigration issue a good thing because it saved Trump?
It's an important thing for a lot of American people. I mean,
For sure.
that's what I'm saying. Like it looks like so you're saying an immigrant saved Trump's life.
Yeah,
Being
that's
illegal.
yeah. I was trying to make fun of it, but yeah, it's almost like there's a couple movies that are like that, where the butterfly effect, where all these events lead up to this outcome, and there's probably a dimension or a universe out there where Trump's not with us anymore, and it's kind of crazy to think. I think if the shooter did make his hit, we probably wouldn't be recording a podcast right now. I think there would be a lot of civil unrest. I
Yeah, I
think
think
there'd
so
be a
too.
I think there'd be a lot of people really upset. Um, Rightfully so, and maybe not so. I don't think things get answered with riots and physical harm and stuff like that. I think that's why I kind of mentioned Trump's original first half speech came to a lot of conversations about peace, about how we should come together. And then the second half, he kind of went off the rails. I was telling my wife, I'm like, you can tell when he's reading his speech and when he's kind of ad libbing. And when he's speaking on his speech, it's a little more softer tone. And when he's ad libbing, he's like going off the cuff and he's just throwing out whatever's on his mind. And you can tell the difference. So, yeah, man, it's going to be curious to see how this moves forward.
Yeah, it's an interesting take. So, but we'll see what happens, man. We'll keep an eye on the election for you. But let's liven it up a little bit. Something that came out of people have been talking about. There's been a lot of hype around it, and I saw a little bit of the gameplay today. Is College Football 25? EA releases it after what, like 11 years or something, or 10-year drought. Um, there's been a lot of hype around it. I saw some gameplay yesterday. It looked pretty good. They pre-sold more than 700,000 copies of the game, and then the players crashing servers shortly after that. And so they generated about the week of or something like the day, a couple of days, 200 million in sales, which is crazy. Um, I haven't really heard anything um, that they sold 2 days ago. They're saying they're 2.2 million copies. Um, so it's crazy, man. Have you seen any of it? I noticed they didn't call it NCAA football, which they've done in the past. They call it college football. That's probably the only difference. On top of it, some of the players make some money and they get a copy of the game. But it looks amazing. I saw some of the gameplay. It's definitely an update, but there's parts of it where it looks like just like real, like a real live game, and then some of the
Right.
gameplay it looks deep. I mean, it looks great. It looks amazing. I was watching, like I said, some gameplay of it. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm not gonna buy it. If I do, be when it's on clearance or something. But yeah, I mean, what did you think then? Or you had a chance to look at it? Did you see the reviews? Or people like? I know the recruiting. A lot of people have been talking about the recruiting and all this other stuff, like the dynasty, or there's like a mode. Um, what did you guys? What's your initial thoughts? I don't think you bought it, or did you?
No, no, I haven't. I don't watch enough college football to even know what the hell I would be doing. I played one that was once on a demo, and I think it was around the time that they stopped making them, EA Sports. But yeah, man, I saw a teaser trailer when they first like were teasing it, and I saw like a little clip of the gameplay, and it looked really cool, man. It looked like you said, it looked almost real, like you're watching real players. Uh, so I haven't seen the full gameplay release, but I've played a little bit of Madden 24, and it's built off of the same engine. So I'm assuming it's just going to look better than the Madden game. and Madden 24 looked awesome, man. It was so good that I think this college football, I think people underestimate how big college football is. And I think this is going to sell gangbusters. I think it's going to do awesome for EA. And I think the name of not calling it NCAA is so that it gives them the option to not have to pay as much, because they just recently did the same for soccer, where they got rid of the FIFA
Oh,
moniker, and now
really?
that so they don't call it FIFA 24 anymore, or FIFA whatever. Now they call it uh, football
Soccer
club.
or
No,
football club?
I think they call it football club or something like that, where they don't call it FIFA anymore. And I think it's their way to get around not having to pay certain people all the money that they
The
want. But
licensing or something, yeah,
right,
to use that name because it's such a brand now. Like
right,
they don't need to do that no more.
yeah, for
I feel
sure.
like yeah, like people know it's gonna come out and like, but yeah, I mean, there was a lot of hype this week to the release. I mean, people were just like fucking hyping it up, and like I said, I got released and I started seeing some gameplay yesterday, and I'm like, damn, like this looks awesome. And but yeah, I mean, people were posting pics of like the recruiting that they're getting, like 5-star players going to like these small colleges, and people were posting like I played my son and stuff, like these old timers, like 'cause the game hasn't been released in a decade. Um, they're like, oh, my son destroyed me, like 84 to nothing. Like you were seeing like these crazy scores, and I mean, a lot of old timers really got into it. I think they gave up on Madden possibly. I don't know. But yeah, man, there was a lot of hype, a lot of excitement, especially the players. They got some money and they're getting a free game. They don't have the game I saw had um, the graphics of ESPN like, but it wasn't ESPN. And then they had some notable broadcasters. I did notice one of them. I forget his name. He used to work at ESPN, but he's not there no more. And I think one of the other guys did. So that was interesting. But yeah, it just, let us know what you guys think at ffnquestions@gmail.com. Did you purchase it? What are your thoughts? But to me, I think the nostalgia factor got a lot of people. Um, the monster sales. This article I just saw said it sold 2.2 million, so it's already a bestseller. I mean, back in the day, a million sales in any game was considered like huge. I don't know now. Um, it is EA Sports or whatever. They haven't really done much unless you know something I don't, Danny. You don't hear EA as much as you used to. They used to be the shit. Maybe this is gonna help them uh, make up some stuff because they've been laying off people I heard recently. So I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of the gaming industry is going through a bunch of layoffs, and you're right. EA in years past was voted the worst company to
Yeah.
work for, but in these recent years, they've had some bangers come out other than football, and I think they're having a little resurgence. So yeah, I think this is definitely going to help them keep moving upwards.
Right. Again, let us know what you guys think at fnquestions@gmail.com. And then if I buy it, I'll let you know. I'll try it and I'll have to go old school, just run the shit out of the ball or something, control the clock. And I'll have like scores of like 7-0 or something or 7-3. But with that being said, let's move over to something that also is layoffs and shutting down. It's we're gonna go into our article of the week. So again, Dan's talking about the gaming industry with physical disc and the streaming and the downloads. They've gone through some issues. One of the ones to another thing for physical media. I mean, if Noel was here, he loves physical media. I don't know if he loves it, but he does. He's doing more of the digital too. But just another nail in the coffin for physical media. Redbox is pretty much dead. The company that owns them, Chicken Soup for the Soul, is now in bankruptcy. They're going to lay off, or everybody, 1,000+ employees are going to be out of jobs, and they're going into liquidation. I mean, Redbox, when they came out after the end of Blockbuster, I mean, it was like this new small like group that like I didn't understand it when it first came out. That you go rent a game or a movie at a kiosk, you don't even talk to people, so like low overhead. And it took off, man. People were rating. I remember seeing lines at a Redbox. Then over the years, with streaming and then the COVID, and they try to reinvent themselves. I think they're trying to push for some streaming platforms that they had. But the DVD and Blu-ray was still their bread and butter. But basically, it says in the article, Redbox network of 24,000 rental kiosks and its streaming services will be shut down after its parent company, Chicken Soup for the Soul, went for Chapter 7 in bankruptcy, and they're starting liquidation. So maybe I could buy a kiosk and put it in my basement. With this move to liquidate all its assets, are now unemployed, will not receive severance or extended benefits. They said it as a late June had over 1,000 employees. It's been in decline. They bought them really cheap. This company, Chicken Soup, they bought them in 2020. To think about it, then in 2013, that's when they peaked. They had over 1.97 billion of revenue. It's amazing. And they had over 43,000 kiosks. And then they filed for Chapter 7 or Chapter 11 reorganization for debt. They had a lot of debt. So apparently Chicken Soup also owned Crackle. I thought Crackle was still part of Sony.
Right.
But I guess they sold it off. And then they also, in the article, which is weird, we were just talking about, they went into companies that are laying off people this year. Warner Brothers Discovery is a July laid off 1,000 people. The Chicken Soup, the one they shut down, 1,000 people. CNN, but it's in the hundreds. And the other big one is PlayStation. Over 900 people got let go. Electronic Arts, over 670 people. And Paramount Global, 800 people were laid off. Again, and these are like companies that produce content, and some of them are in physical media. And then stores are getting rid of DVDs and Blu-rays and 4K. I mean, you know me, I'm an ardent supporter of physical media, books, games. Digital is awesome. It's convenient, but sometimes it's hard to find and hard to get. And stuff disappears off the internet, people. I mean, there's a whole community dedicated to finding lost media. That includes digital former websites where they produce exclusive content. Once that website gets shut down, if nobody stores it or saves it, it gets lost. And now they produce a lot of movies where they don't even produce DVDs or any type of physical media. When that stuff goes away, you're never going to see it again unless someone had downloaded it and stored it in a hard drive. But with that being said, Redbox was, after Blockbuster, was a pillar of rental services. What are your thoughts, Danny? I mean, did you ever use Redbox? I used them a handful of times. I purchased a lot of movies from them because they were cheap. I mean, like you're talking about $2-3, but did you use them, or did you even try did you know they had a streaming service or anything like that?
No, I know their platform when Blockbuster went out of business, you know, online and all that stuff, where they would send you the DVDs. And then, like you said, they transitioned to do some streaming to try to kind of survive in this new environment. But no, I gotta say, if I used them maybe twice, I'm probably exaggerating. I kind of recall just using it maybe once, trying it out, and it just wasn't something that I was interested in. Just because you had to return the DVD, and you had to get up and drive to wherever you got it, or I forget if it was just any kiosk. But Yeah, I didn't really care for it too much. After the block, I wasn't a big blockbuster guy either. To
I
be
was.
honest, I would buy most of my DVDs that I was interested in. So if I wanted to see The Matrix, the new one, I would go out and buy it. Spend $10 and just get the DVD. Um, so yeah, I really didn't use it too much. I've purchased a few DVDs here and there, but to be honest, in these last maybe I would say 5 years, I can't recall five DVDs that I've purchased or Blu-rays.
I just bought
Uh,
DVDs last week, man.
yeah, I know you tell
My
me about
wife
it all
gave me
the.
the stink eye, but I bought them.
Yeah, I know you're always telling me about how you're buying DVDs, but yeah, man, I am a person of physical media. All the games that I play on my PlayStation, I try to buy physical. I rarely purchase them online on the PlayStation Store because I am with you. There are stuff that disappears, and if I'm gonna own it, I'd rather own the physical. But with streaming movies, streaming sites, it's just a lot more convenient. And I guess I don't hold those things as precious just because if they're gone, I can go to some, you know, website where somebody uploaded it and I can get it. The other day, I wanted to, or a few months ago, uh, I wanted to watch Mi Familia, and dude, I cannot find it
Yeah,
anywhere. I
that
couldn't
is
find
one
it
of the
anywhere.
hard to find movies. Yeah,
So I searched for it on Paramount, on Amazon TV, and a bunch of other places, and I could not find it anywhere. I had to find a place that uploaded it, and then the copy that they uploaded was 720, so it looked like shit. But I'm like, all right, I guess this is the way we got to watch it. This is the only way. Um, and now it's one of those things that when I pop my head into like a Goodwill or some kind of thrift store, I'm looking for that DVD because I'm like, I better get a copy of this because it's really tough to get it on streaming. So yeah, I totally understand the premise and the want, but I don't know. To me, I think it's too inconvenient. I liked it more when it was a mail-in, kind of like the old school Netflix, where they would mail you the DVDs and then you would send it back whenever you wanted because you just paid a monthly fee. That I didn't mind, and I had that subscription for quite a while when it was just a DVD and you would get a one or two, at a time, or I forget what package I had. But yeah, Redbox didn't really call for me. I am interested now that they're going for bankrupt. I've been Googling to see when they're going to start selling some of their old stock because I would be interested in seeing if
they
I can
have
get some.
games. Yeah,
Yeah, I've been searching, but I haven't found any kind of liquidation store where they're selling off their old stock for maybe like $5, a Blu-ray or anything like that.
so that's the thing. I do see the kiosks at some of the stores I go to, but I haven't really gone up to them. I'm like, I don't know if they're still functioning or can you buy shit off of them. So I gotta go do that test. And going back to movies that are hard to find, especially with movies like that. Mi Familia. That's one of the harder finds. And there's another movie that I was looking for and I can't find nowhere. Is Jimmy Smits did a movie of like he has three sons and they're boxers, and I remember watching it on cable and I thought it was a really good movie. Um, that's another one that's hard to find. Blood in, Blood Out. I know this is or last year was the 30th anniversary, and there's this big community of people that love that movie. Like I'm included, and they've been bitching that Disney owns the company that made Blood in, Blood Out, to have it in 4K, even in Blu-ray. Um, and they never really did it. I think they only responded. It wasn't streamed anywhere. Some people converted it on some group converted it to 4K or and uploaded it on YouTube. And I watched some of it, and it looked decent. They were what that I did notice. They blocked off some of the music because they didn't want to get shut down. So they did that. And then I think that garnered a lot of. I mean, it had like a lot of views a couple months ago. I think they finally uploaded it on Hulu. But again, if you had the DVD, you wouldn't have to go through all that. And people are just pining for the new technology, and they want it on, high definition, stuff like that. American Me, that's another one that people love, and they, was big on VHS. I think they did it to DVD, and the only HD thing they did to it was on high def disc. I don't think they ever released it on Blu-ray. And I know people have been bitching to get that on Blu-ray or 4K, whatever the new thing is right now. And but at least I think that's streamed somewhere. I seen that streamed. I think on Prime, or it might be on Peacock because it's a Universal movie if I remember correct. Mi Familia, it's a new line, so that's Warner Brothers. They just merged, all that bullshit that's going on. They're licensing everything to every other streamer besides Max. They canceled movies. So again, if you own a disc or a tape, nobody can take that from you. You can watch it anytime you want. That's the big perk of it, and you own it. Streaming has always been. I mean, it's a love hate. 1 minute it's on there, and then the next minute, or they're editing shit to it, or they put on these signs like this is racist, and but we're showing it to you, like Disney's Plus. I watched Dumbo with my son the other day, and there was like this racist thing in the beginning. They're talking about, there's people portrayal here as racist. I seen that movie a billion times as a kid with my sisters, and I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. But getting back to Redbox, the rental business, I think is going to be now strictly digital. Nobody's ever going to rent DVDs except your local library. Our local library here has a huge selection of DVDs and Blu-rays. Other than that, I mean, even buying a DVD, you can't go to the store. I mean, I think Walmart still carries them. Target's going to stop, and then probably just got Amazon and Walmart Plus as you have, man.
Right. Yeah, I know there's a couple DVDs that I've purchased just recently. Like I just purchased the Tales of the Crypt box set because you can't find that anywhere, man. I was trying to stream it or trying to find something, and I couldn't find it, so I had to buy it just because I remember that when I was a kid, and I'm like, man, these, even though it's just like 100 B movie episodes of Tales of the Crypt,
there's some gems in there.
Yeah, but it's still cool to watch. So I had to buy that. I know I was talking about my ringtone the last episode, but I had to buy the Dukes of Hazzard because that's another one that you can't get that TV show anywhere. You can't stream it. No, nobody has it.
Yeah.
And so I had to buy the box set for that too, just so I could have it. So whenever I want to watch it. So
Tales from the Crypt, and real quick, someone was uploading the best of VHS tapes that they made a while back on YouTube, and I watched there was like 4 volumes of it. Someone uploaded them. I think they're like 2 hours long because I think each episode is like a half hour. So you get 4 episodes, and some of them were really good. It's just the quality was VHS. I don't know if that deter you from watching it because you're like, you said 720p, even though technically it's HD. You just said it ain't shit. So I don't know how you would feel about that.
Yeah, it's a little tough. 720, that's like the base. Like
Basic,
it's like if there's anything below that, it's like forget it. But that's like the most basic of the basic. So to me, 720 just doesn't do it anymore. You need at least 1080p to kind of feel like, okay, this is HD.
Modern enough.
Right. But yeah, man, it's sad to see these streaming things are becoming more and more prominent. I mean, my conversations about Paramount, stuff like that is just going to become more the standard. People are cutting the cords. Comcast or Xfinity, they're dropping subscribers all the time. So yeah, not sure how the future is going to look if these hard copy, digital media versus physical copies, how it's going to look. It's weird going into like Best Buy now. The few Best Buys that are even left, and there's no DVD section. It's just like all appliances and stuff like that. It's really weird to walk around and check that stuff out.
A little fact here for you, our listeners. Danny worked at a Best Buy, and he wasn't like in charge of the CD section, or you monitored it, or whatever your position was. They don't even have CDs or any type. I think they might have vinyls, right? Because it's like the in thing right now,
right?
Vinyl records, but I don't think they don't have any type of CD or like physical music where you go in there and you like, do you have the latest CD of so and so? And like, I don't think that exists there no more, right?
Right, which makes sense. I mean, the consumer is the one that's going to drive what they want. So if they don't want DVDs, or it's not that big of a seller, everything is based on footprint. So everything you put on there, it's taking up space where something else could be bringing revenue in. So I totally understand the companies, but it's sad to see, because I used to love, going to Coconuts or whatever and just go see the new cassettes that came out this week and just look to see and pick one up every now and then, buy it. It was just a different time. And now, those days are going away. It's more like you're just flicking up and down on your cell phone trying to see what the new album or some new thing that you want to look at or play.
Yeah. I remember we'd go to, when we lived closer to Chicago, we'd go to Rolling Stones, this local like mega music store that had CDs galore and listening stations. You just walk around and check out like other artists that you would listen to when they put like some CD to hear their tracks. They had old school like tapes and like DVDs, and they were importing CDs from Europe. It was pretty cool to think about it. Now I think they're still around, but I'm imagining it's not what it used to be. And man, it's a bygone era, like you said, with the streaming, which the convenience that everybody loves, but it comes at a price, and that's physical media.
Yeah, for sure, man. Hopefully they stick around longer. I still like buying my physical media every now and then. Definitely not as much as you and Noel, but yeah, it's sad to see. We'll see where the new future takes us. But everybody out there, that's all the time we got for today, man. We'd like to thank you all for listening. Remember, you can follow Freeform Network on Facebook and X at Freeform Network. Send in those questions like Andy mentioned, ffnquestions@gmail.com. Been kind of slowing down a little bit, not getting as many as we used to, so ramp it up, send in those questions. We'll have to have a podcast soon to answer some of those. Visit us on our webpage, freeformnetwork.podbean.com. There you're going to see all of our old episodes. They're growing up there, man. We're 200 plus and still going. A lot of other podcasts have already quit, and we're still doing it, Andy.
Amazing, right?
Yeah. Wherever you're listening to us, hit that subscribe and like button. It really helps us. And I know Andy's really making his presence known on Facebook and even YouTube, dropping a lot of new information on there. Hit that like, subscribe, spread it, share it with your friends. But for Freeform Radio, we got Andy.
It's all good, Andy. And maybe we'll do a best of CD box of Freeform Radio here. And maybe we'll get a couple people to buy us, and then we'll have to declare bankruptcy. Or we could be more high tech and put it on a USB stick, right? And then you can listen to it that way. And so we'll be like, it's the new retro thing, USB sticks to listen to music.
Right, man. Or a hot mixtape or a vinyl. We'll have to figure it out. And yes, I'm Daniel. I'd like to thank you all for listening. Hope you guys all have a great week, and we'll catch you on the next one.
That was cool, Dad.